manifesto is home.
As soon as they formally take office, Kenyatta and Ruto have a number of pledges they must fulfill within the first 100 days of their tenure. They must keep their word to thousands of Standard 1 pupils in the public schools across the country and provide the solar-powered laptops that they had promised. They will also be expected to fulfill their pledge of providing free milk to all primary school pupils.
We are going to roll up our sleeves and tighten up our belts and pull up our socks to ensure that we deliver and discharge every promise that we made to the people of Kenya.
Within the first 100 days, the president-elect and his deputy will have to ensure affordable medical care for all Kenyans, as they promised in the Jubilee manifesto. This includes abolishing maternity fees and all other charges for mothers delivering in public hospitals. But are these promises achievable in the first 100 days of the Kenyatta-Ruto reign, or was it a vote-hunting gimmick?
And I think what he has promised in terms of milk for children, free medical care in maternities and dispensaries are things you can achieve in the short run. They're the long-hanging fruits. The question is whether you're able to sustain that in the long run, whether you'll have the resources to sustain that on a long-term basis.
The first pillar in the Jubilee manifesto is unity. This, the incoming head of state and his deputies say, is by eliminating ethnic division and prioritize national cohesion. These, according to sources in the Jubilee Alliance, will be achieved primarily through the cabinet that will be unveiled by the two leaders after the Tuesday inauguration. The two leaders, sources say, are keen on crafting a cabinet that will comprise the face of the country and include persons from regions that did not vote for them.
That if the politics is not right in Kenya, the economics cannot be right. And when you talk about unity, it's not just talking about ethnic divisions. How do we address winners and losers of the just concluded election? And how do we bring them into one team and they work together so that going forward, we are not distracted by these two camps sort of fighting each other and trying to command for our attention.
The Jubilee team will also be expected to fulfill its promise of securing the country by modernizing the security forces through effective skills and equipment. The new government must also keep its word on youth and women empowerment, which was one of its key campaign pledges. This includes creating 1 million jobs for the youth every year. Sources say Kenyatta will establish a youth and women department in his office to ensure that he has a direct stake in the implementation of the Youth and Women Empowerment Pledge. All ministries will also have to mainstream implementation of these pledges. Another critical promise that the Jubilee team will be tasked to keep is that of building 5 new national stadia in Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru, Eldoret and Garissa within 5 years. On the information and communication technologies front, Kenyatta and Ruto will have to keep their word on providing free Wi-Fi connection in major towns within 5 years and create ICT incubation hubs in all the 47 counties.
And obviously, these are some of the programs that are very nice on paper, but when it comes to implementing them, then the procurement challenges, sustaining such programs, end up making such a program very, very costly and not effective, not achieving what it was intended for.
Implementation of land reforms is yet another pledge that Kenyatta and Ruto will be up to scrutiny in its implementation. They committed to repossess all illegally acquired public land and prosecute the land grabbers. Sources say as part of providing an answer to the perennial land question, Kenyatta and Ruto are keen on working with the National Land Commission to ensure Kenyans view land as a factor of production and not as a factor of division and ethnic hostility. In their 5-year tenure, the Jubilee team has promised to construct at least 13,000 kilometers of new tarmac roads. They also promised to ensure that all Kenyans have access to electricity by 2020. This, however, is a tall order according to economic analysts.
So to tell Kenyans they'll do 13,000 kilometers of road in 5 years, even in 10 years, is quite unrealistic.
The Jubilee team made a raft of promises. Kenyans have the responsibility of putting the Kenyatta-Ruto government to task and ultimately have their scorecard at the end of their first term in office. Francis Gachuri, Citizen TV.